Okay, we're gonna have some fun. I'm gonna kind of power through things because I've got 30 minutes and 112 slides. It'll be the first time. That's 15 seconds a slide. So we'll see if that's even physically or mentally possible. I want to say thank you also to the folks at GRIF. I really appreciate the opportunity here. You know, the US, we do things, we think about business. We're pretty practical, generally speaking, and I think this presentation will take what's happening in the US and want you to think about how to apply it to your businesses. I get inspired here in Dubai. I love to come here. I mean, wow, yesterday was incredible, the design, so many things that inspired me. And so I feel this give and take and this global experience is really something that I appreciate sharing in. So who am I? I'm Aaron Noveshen. I'm the founder and president of the Culinary Edge, which is an agency, which I'll talk about momentarily, but also I'm a restaurateur. I run restaurants, and when you have an agency and you run restaurants, it's really a benefit that you can empathize with your clients. I mean, I got to worry about labor costs. I've got to worry about, the toilets overflowing in a restaurant. I understand the pain that my clients experience every day, and they really enjoy being able to collaborate with people who live their joys and live their pains. So a little bit about the Culinary Edge, innovation agency based in San Francisco, California, mid-sized team of people. We own a great building, an innovation center, test kitchen, strategy lab, a place where we just have fun, serve food, and join with our community every single day. We're creatives, we're chefs, we're food lovers, and we're in the hub of Silicon Valley, and I've got Airbnb around the corner and the Twitter building up the street and Google and Facebook, and we're just inundated with this technology and innovation world that we're living in, and I feel very grateful to get to share in that and bring food to the life of many. So at the Culinary Edge, we build great food and beverage experiences. It's more than just about what we're eating. It's about anticipation. It's about how you connect. It's about what you see. It's about what's on the plate. This was a meal we had at our offices, and I said, we got to capture this. This is like Instagram ready, and it's become a slide that we share very often. So who do we work with? A lot of people. We say we work with companies from startup all the way to Starbucks, growth brands, food service and manufacturing, hospitality, really helping companies wherever they are on their journey, making sure that they are delivering on their brand promise through food and beverage experiences. We also have a venture company called the Culinary Edge Ventures. We've incubated our first brand, which is called Starbird Chicken. Starbird is all about changing the way fast food is eaten today by design, convenience, technology, reinventing the drive-through experience. We have a technology app that I'd love to share, how we've eliminated drive-throughs, because a drive-through is really not a great experience. It's incredibly full of friction and stress, and we've really removed that experience for our guests, all while creating chicken products that are better for you, that are fun, that are high design, that people want to associate with a brand. I run another company called Pacific Catch Restaurants, sustainably sourced seafood. We're at 100% sustainable. This is our recent promo, our Clean Catch menu. This is about accessibility, though. This is not about exclusivity. We like to create brands that are inclusive, right? I want a restaurant that's full on Tuesday night, okay? That's important. We do 500 to 700 covers a night in our restaurants, about 4,000 square feet, really high density, high energy. People can come with families, all about, this is not a rope policy. And at the Culinary Edge, we create brands that are all about inclusivity, longevity. All right, so now I'm going to talk about the US and what's going on, all right? So let's talk about trends, right? I mean, I hate the word trends. Trends are an awful, awful term. It's like, what's trendy? I love it. McCormick Spice comes out every year with the top 10 trendy flavors of the year. It's like black pepper and sumac. It's like, really? That's not a trend. That's really not what a trend is. But people are dying to know what's going on. So when we think about trends, it's important to say, we think of it as it's a general direction in which something is developing or changing. We like to take a much more macro view of that, right? How do these trends arise, right? They manifest as reactions to larger societal movements, okay? What's going on in the world? Economically. I mean, I think our futurist who just presented before me understands this better than anyone, right? They're looking way out in the future why things are happening, but it's important to understand that that is the essence of what trends are driven by, right? And what happens is These things are happening in the world, and they affect our shifting consumer behaviors, right? And these behaviors are built around our status, how we see ourselves in the world, our health and wellness, how we value things, what does value mean to us, and how we create value in our lives. And more importantly, it's about time. Time is of the essence, and time, in many ways, is really what we think is the new currency. So today I'm going to talk about 5 key movements, okay? Convenience, once again, as I mentioned, time is the new currency, okay? Everybody's time is valuable here, so I'm going to talk even quicker. Health and wellness, holistic health, media, the age of camera-first world, entertainment, where the movement is a generation of people dining in, and design, which is becoming unabashedly bold. So let's talk about convenience and time being the new currency, right? This is your typical hipster place in San Francisco, California. These people have everything they want, they have access to everything they want, and they can get everything they want with their phone, right? Right now, right here, they don't have to leave their desk, right? They can get it anywhere they want. They want it on the beach. This is a generation of people who are allowed to get things anywhere they want. We have Postmates literally delivering to the beach in San Francisco. We've got couriers everywhere and anywhere, right? This is becoming a global thing, but where is this going, right? Where is it going? So Instacart allows for accessibility, right? Everyone's getting their groceries delivered. The supermarkets all over the US have dedicated Instacart lines now because the traffic is so intensive that they're having to create designs of retail environments just to allow for delivery folks. But what about this business? So many companies, right? This is since 2012, all of these different companies in the US are growing, right? And what we're learning is that it's difficult to make money in this business, right? You know, people are charging 25, 30% delivery charges. Wow, it seems like, how are we gonna make that work, right? And what they're finding is that they can't even make money charging that, right? So what's happening out there, there's a tremendous consolidation. And what's important in this space, which is happening everywhere, is that people have to figure out how to have competitive advantages. So I want to share with you is a little bit about these advantages. Who recognizes this? Whose restaurant has 6 different tablets on the counter, right? Is this the biggest nightmare in the world? Like, I had an operator, he's like, we're not bringing them in if I have to have another tablet, right? So the winning companies are figuring out solutions to this, not just the consumer need state, which is critical, but the operator need state, the business person need state, right? DoorDash does an amazing job of working with businesses to create seamless integration into their POS systems, into flowing into dealing with the labor challenges that we have. Really, really great company. Another one, Caviar, doing incredibly cool stuff. How are they differentiating? Well, they've got this secret menu, right? So not only can you get what you want from that restaurant, but only Caviar has exclusives, right? Exclusive food products that you can't even get at the restaurant, right? Only through Caviar. Creating these differentiated experiences is what is creating competitive advantages. They're also partnering with great brands like Healthyish. And this is something that just started. This is by Uber. It's a little hard to read, I apologize. So what Uber has done, brilliant, brilliant company. I mean, everyone, you were talking Uber in the previous presentation. So Uber is working with businesses now and says, okay, you've got a brick and mortar, right? And you use Uber and you deliver products. Well, why can't we pick up a different product from your restaurant? You're investing this money in brick and mortar. You're a burger place. You might have wings on the menu. You might have other things. Like, well, why don't you create a virtual restaurant right out of your own brick and mortar today, right? Who wouldn't want to drive 20% more sales out of the same brick and mortar they have in a virtual restaurant? Uber is creating a seamless environment where restaurants can build a second restaurant without investing a penny. A couple menu items, new branding and look, all in a digital world that you operate out of your own restaurant. Okay, this is part of the future. Amazon Go, this is mind-blowing. You've got to get into this place. It was mentioned just in the prior presentation. You walk in, there's cameras, geofencing. Literally, it's just this seamless experience where you pick up anything you want, you put it in your cart. I loved the explanation earlier about just the sense of the consumer need state of lack of friction and just creating this sort of, I don't want to call it a Zen space, but it meets you where you want to be along the way. Everybody's got an app. Who here has an app for the restaurants or use them every day, right? Ordering food on your app. Well, that's table stakes, right? Everybody's got to have an app. This is from a restaurant called Sweet Green, a client of ours in the Bay Area. They're based in Los Angeles now, originally from Washington, D.C. Coolest brand ever. What they do that's really interesting is they create this immersive experience on their app, not only to sort of build and visually see what's happening when you build your meal, but you can actually change things and understand you can build a meal through dietary restrictions. You can build a meal through allergies. You can understand every single calorie that goes into building your personalized experience of meals. And they've got an amazing, they have dedicated just meters and meters of space. You walk into New York City and literally there's hundreds of orders ready to go and pick up. And they're designing, and the restaurant designs of the future, particularly in this convenience world, are all taking into consideration how the consumer is going to walk in the door and have a seamless experience. They don't want to wait in a second line to repay. And then there's this other movement now. This is a place called Chill House. Cool place. It's like workspace. You can hang out and have a coffee. Really nice design. It's also a place where you can buy nail polish. You can get your nails done. You can buy jewelry. So literally, this is an entire immersive escape place. Retail, purchasing, nail salon, cafe, and a great environment to hang out in all day. It's taking this immersive experience to the next level. All right, so what do we take away from this convenience world? So offering convenience is not only a functional value add, it's emotional too, right? These brands are connecting with people in ways to create frictionless experiences, right? We've got to figure out how to leverage your delivery platforms to the next level in ways that you haven't before. Allow your apps to do this for you and really utilize technology to offer your guests exclusive perks that they can only get with your brand. All right, well, let's talk about health and wellness. Well, you know, with the modern era, health is really a critical piece to everyone's well-being. And some people say, well, is health a trend? Well, not really. I mean, if we think about it, every decade has had some health artifact happening. I don't know if you remember the cabbage soup diet, obviously the Atkins diet, juice cleanses in the 2000s. You know, health has always been around, probably since the 50s and 60s, at least on a mass market standpoint. But what does it mean today? It's incredibly important still, and people are trying to understand what health means to them. And ultimately, there's no universal definition of health for the consumer today. People have healthy lifestyles, you know, they want to eat healthy, but what does that really, really mean? So companies now are thinking about health in a very different way. So this is a Dig In. And when Dig In, which is based in New York City, one of the things that they're succeeding at is really helping their guests navigate beyond just food products, but also how they function environmentally, how they create a lifestyle out of health. Whoops. Something that is important as people think about health is not just the health of themselves, but the health of the world around them. Has anyone here heard of the Impossible Burger? Anybody? So the Impossible Burger is one of the companies that we work with in the San Francisco Bay Area. And this is the first burger that is completely made of vegetables. It acts like a burger. It literally, you sear it and you take a bite out of it and it's rare inside and bleeds literally out of the burger itself. And this is taking America by storm, right? You can see here another one. This is Bear Burger is serving this. There's over, I think, 150 different restaurant companies in America serving this Impossible Burger. And it's really fascinating to watch how brands, just by putting this on the menu, are getting attraction and interest who want to try this thing. And it's actually quite delicious. Another brand that's interesting in the health space is By Chloe. Now, By Chloe serves traditional foods, burgers, nachos, but 100% of their products are vegan, right? And By Chloe is really creating an accessible way for people to eat vegetarian, eating the type of foods that they want to be eating every day. Additionally, By Chloe is connecting in a health in a much different way. As you can see here, they've got a website here that is much more about lifestyle. They've created a tribe of people who want to live the By Chloe way, right? So they've got a travel section on their website. They've got clothing that they show. They deal with fashion. So in order to have a healthy brand and to connect with your consumers, you've got to meet them on different levels. And most recently, Bon Appetit magazine has done an unbelievable shift in the States. They've come up with something called Healthy-ish. I'd love to read you. Their mantra is, because healthy should still be delicious, right? Eating healthfully should not be subtractive, right? The consumer does not want to be eating healthfully and take away from their experience every day. So ultimately, with consumers needing to connect with brands in a healthy space, some of the big takeaways that I'd love to share are, really, you've got to understand your core guests and adapt trends to meet their needs. You can't be healthy to everyone in ways that don't fit your brand. We say don't be a victim to shiny object syndrome, right? Not every brand can serve charcoal or serve turmeric shakes or things of that nature. Be authentic to who you are and what type of healthy choices your consumers are going to want. And the health is really beyond personal. You know, the health of the community, the health of environment matters too. All right, I saw more people taking pictures of food than eating food yesterday. Who is guilty of that? No one wants to admit it, but you know, we're in a camera-first world, right? And so what's important to look beyond here is everyone's taking pictures of food, sharing food, and what we're looking at is that, why are people doing this, right? Ultimately, this is about your social currency, right? Our brand, who is my personal brand? Right? I want to capture things and put it on my feed that talks about who I am as a person, how I want to be seen in the world, right? This is about my personal state of mind and that understanding of that, right? So when we think about taking pictures, right, oops, sorry, one second. We've got this state that's happening to now that we call acceptable narcissism, right? You know, everyone is doing this in a way that is understandable, it's accepted, right? And the reason for this, it's really, you know, changed how we as consumers operate, engage, and make decisions with this outside world, okay? We have this calculated curation of self. I mean, it's very calculated, right? Our persona is almost as important, if not more important, than our true self. This is what's happening in the world, because we're connecting more digitally and through photos than ever. This definitely creates our food and beverage experiences, right? And eating and drinking right now is one of the greatest forms of social currency that exists, right? So we need to be thinking about, if people are defining themselves through the food that they take a picture of on your table, what does that mean, right? It means craziness in some ways. This is eating for the Insta, right? It's literally creating food in restaurants. This is the wings that are everywhere in LA and around the US that people are taking photos of themselves and their food products. So people are creating foods more for Instagram than they are sort of for personal consumption, right? And to be able to share experiential elements to help define their personal brand. The greatest influencers right now in food are bloggers, are Instagram feeders. These, 50,000, 20-something thousand followers. I mean, some people have many, many more, but these are just some local ones in the Bay Area. The greatest influencers right now in the food space are taking pictures of food and are curating a brand's image and sharing it with the world, okay? It is absolutely tantamount to be paying attention to this if you want to tap into anyone who is under the age of 40 at this point moving forward, right? Flower Child is a great restaurant by the Fox Group out of Arizona. Sam Fox has had many, many, many great wins. They have created some of the most beautiful, beautiful food, right? So it's not just about avocado toast anymore, like avocado toast on every menu. It's about how might I create the most beautiful avocado toast in the world, right? I don't know, what about this? Sushi donut? Has this gone awry? So we got to be careful, though, because I don't even know how to eat that in the way that I'm going to enjoy it, right? Or something like this, cookie dough. They have cookie dough concepts, right? You really want to eat an entire bowl of cookie dough, right? So these are things that you may want to try once, but it really, are you going to create sustainability, longevity, long-term client connections? And ultimately, what about this? Black tap. I don't even know how to eat this, right? It's cake on top of a sundae, on top of it. But people are lined up, our lines, right, to try and experience this thing. So it's important, but we have to just really make sure that we're being thoughtful around creating Instagrammable food. All right. The greatest thing about this is you can go viral quickly, right? You can get out and touch and connect to so many people so much more rapidly than through other means. Let's take, God, what are these guys called again? They're so funny. The Loop, of course, the Loop, giant churro loop, right? One restaurant, okay? Southern California. How many Instagram followers do they have? Who can read that? 168,000 followers for one unit restaurant. You think they're not doing well? Okay. These guys have created something that is just mind-blowing. So you can see when leveraged correctly in a creative and fun way, this is edible. You can eat this. You pull that up, you're taking bites, you can share it, you can photo it. They've really tapped into something and understanding the power of this, right? So how do you stay ahead in a camera-first world, right? You got to consider your visual presence in addition to your offering, right? Every single dish you make, you should take a picture of and look at how it looks photographed. Because that's going to happen in your restaurant. And if you're lucky, it's a wonderful thing, right? So it's a new consideration that's critical. Don't be afraid to invest also in the tools, resources, and people to build this strong social media presence. I'm not in this business. I have numerous folks who work for our companies who help us in creating a greater social media presence. They're experts at it, and there's wonky mom and pops. So choose wisely, but absolutely there are people who do an amazing job at this. And you know what? Be a little sensational. Don't be afraid to be bold. Don't be afraid to take some risks. You can always pull the photo down, right? Not a problem. And then remember to just prioritize plating and presentation, right? It's going to leave the restaurant every single day. All right, let's talk about something a little different. This is a new generational thing in terms of the entertainment world. And we're calling this generation dining in. Now, basically, there's a common aphorism is that millennials are the experience generation, right? And they often value experiences more than material objects. And one of the things that's happening in this generation is about cooking and cooking in, right? They've got a tremendous relationship with food. This millennial generation, I saw the slide there was saying that millennials are ordering out more than they're using groceries, which is true. They're the highest users of delivery. It's unbelievable the amount of delivery that college kids use, that millennials are using. But there's also this experiential thing where they're really trying to connect again, right? They're on the phones all the time, but they're trying to create more personal experiences. So cooking at home was really like not a glamorous thing, right? I was talking to people here in Dubai and it's like nobody cooks here, right? I don't know, like nobody cooks. It's too damn hot to cook, I guess. It's understandable. But in the States right now, this is a massive movement, right? I have staff of 20-year-olds and all they're talking about is the dinner parties they have. I'm like, dinner parties at 24, 25? Like that was just not going on when I was 24, 25. And it's a way to connect. It's a way to share their craft. It's a way to enhance their personal brand, right? So what's happening in the world? Literally this Dining In cookbook by Alison Roman, #1 cookbook last year, #1 on Amazon, sells out on Amazon, okay? So something's happening here with this dining in generation, right? In terms of Bon Appetit, they've been doing recipes now that are a little bit more simple, a little more accessible, a little bit more that you can share with your friends, okay? Dinner parties, once again, just thriving, right? Cooking your parents' food is not about cooking their recipe. It's about reinterpreting their recipe, making it your own, sharing something and enlivening something that you have a connection to your past with. The accessibility of ingredients now is endless. This is a huge, huge movement, right? Folks are using apps and cooking apps at home like never before. Trader Joe's, the big grocer in America, creating all these products now to make it simpler and easier for folks to cook at home. And then obviously there's the enormous rise in the United States of companies like Blue Apron. So what Blue Apron is I mean, it's this perfectly curated and perfected meal for four. So people can get the right portion, the exact thing, but they're still cooking, they're still cutting things up, they're still using cookware, they're engaging in ways that are more convenient for them, that this stuff shows up at their door. There are numerous companies in the States operating on this platform. The other side of this is about gadgetry and cookware. So right now, there's enormous amounts of gadgetry and technology to help you cook. This is an immersion cooking. You can do sous vide at home. This is another piece of technology where literally you have an induction burner that's connected to an app, and it shows you through a video while you are cooking this to literally adjust the temperature on your cookware, right? I mean, it's mind-blowing, you know, and it comes with different cookware, different pans, video. You're literally like your own training course right at home. And then brands now, what does this mean? If you have a restaurant company, how are you going to compete with cooking at home? It's kind of like you don't want to beat them, join them. Dig In is all about this, right? They literally have ways in which they talk about people's cooking at home, connecting and saying, when you're not eating at Dig In, cook at home. Do what you've got to do. You know, it's called yours to make, right? Share the stuff you're cooking on Dig In's site, okay? Just beautiful things that people are making at home. Panera Bread, global company, sold for $7.5 billion, has a recipe site. It's a restaurant with a recipe site. And yeah, maybe you might want to use Panera's bread as part of it, right? They're not fighting people's desire to cook. They're trying to enhance it, trying to support it. And obviously, there are other brands now that are providing products that you can bring home to take your brand home with you. And where once there was a land where only fine dining chefs had cookbooks, now Shake Shack, a burger place, is talking about recipes and stories. Mixed, True Food Kitchen, Lemonade, all fast casual brands now allowing you to cook simple foods at home. I've got 2 minutes left, so I've got to start talking fast again. So remember to empower your home chef, pique your guests' culinary curiosities through the menu offering, find ways to connect beyond your four walls, and remember, sharing is caring. So finally, let's talk about unabashedly bold, right? Who remembers when restaurants looked like this a little while ago? It was pretty sad. Right now, it's all about color. I think we were at the first restaurant, slips my mind. What was it called yesterday? Masti. My God, talk about use of color. Incredible color and boldness. Where is this coming from, right? So you had this millennial generation who was growing up on, you know, wearing neon as things as kids, right? And now all they want is color in their food. They want color in their experiences. They want a bold expression, right? Everyone wants to take a picture of their colorful drinks, unicorn toast. This is like a hot thing. And not to mention this product. You know color has jumped the shark when the unicorn Frappuccino comes out, right? Did this get outside of the US? This thing was insane, okay? Every 15-year-old girl in America is walking down the street with a unicorn Frappuccino. Limited time only, but this is the kind of stuff where brands are connecting to the colors that are happening today. It's not only fake stuff, though. It's about real food. This is beet hummus and watermelon radishes and matcha tea. Like, real ingredients of color are really prominent right now and coming back. This is Cha-Cha Matcha, which I love the name of in New York, just colorful, bright, exciting, vibrant places. All right, I'm running out of time, so I'm going to push through to a close in respect to our others. So in talking about design today, don't be afraid to be adventurous, be expressive, be vibrant, and embrace your brand's voice and personal sense of style. So key takeaways today. Convenience is a key variable in today's value equation. Demonstrate empathy by creating a more frictionless experience for your guests. And when it comes to health, if you try to appeal to everyone, you'll appeal to no one, and do what makes sense for your brand and your core guests. Remember to equip guests with the tools to self-promote and lever your guests' equity as potential influencers in the world, and celebrate the fact that your guests are more adventurous in their kitchen. Consider ways to further their cooking endeavors or culinary education. Don't fight them. Support them. Be part of their journey. And finally, bring your brand's personality to life through your design aesthetic. Don't be afraid to have fun. Thank you.